Hi everyone, it's Al. Had a query about how to measure up radiators and get the correct sizing, especially if you've got an old one and you want to change it for a newer model. They all rust through in the end. So the question I was asked was, where exactly do I measure the radiator? So we're going to sort that right this minute. Okay, so here's a radiator, a typical one. This is a new modern rad that's already been changed. Okay, so I was asked, do I measure this radiator from the nut valve? There's a nut valve there. Or do I measure it from the end of the valve? Or do I measure it from a little part of the rad that sticks out? Because some of them have a little union that sticks out about 1/2 inch. Do I measure it from there? No, the answer is no to all those. Where you measure it from is the exact edge of the radiator, which is there. Okay, and measure it across. Measure it right across your rad to the edge of the radiator. This rad is typically 600mm wide, which is one of those typical sizes actually for a rad of this type. The height again is also measured just from the bottom of the radiator, exactly on the very bottom. Okay, put it on and measure to the top. And again, this is a typical height radiator of 700mm. So this rad is a 600 by 700 high, which is a standard size radiator you get around these days. Typical sizes would be 1000mm long, about 600 high. And that's a fairly sort of typical size radiator. So that's how you measure them. Okay, if there is a lump sticking out and the valve's going into it, don't be tempted to measure from that. I haven't got a rad like that, but if you've got a lump that sticks out and then the valve goes into it, don't measure it from that lump. Measure it from the rad itself. Okay, not from any lumps sticking out and not from any nuts or the back of the valve. Okay, right there. Now one other thing before we pass on with this subject, if you've got an old radiator and it's 20-year-old or more, it could well be an old Imperial rad, and you find that when you look at what you can buy in exchange for it, that nothing is the same size, and that is a common problem, believe me. To trying to get the right size in metric to fit can be a big hassle. What to do about it? This is a very nice piece of kit, and it's extending union, and it's for making up that distance in radiators. Hello Shadow, she's just come to see you. I know she just wants to be on the camera, so don't worry about her. And what it does, it screws in the radiator like so, and it makes up the difference. Can you see that? If that was screwed in there now, that valve would screw into that, and it would mean the pipe would be out here. Except Shadow's head is now in the way of the video. Shadow, will you buzz off? Okay, so it would be out there, and this is called an extending union. Okay, and you get these in various sizes. They can be quite long. So what I suggest is, when you buy a new rad, is to get a slightly smaller one. Don't go larger. If you go larger, it won't fit, the pipes won't fit, the rad will be up to the pipes, and you've got to alter the feed. Unless you want to drain it all down and reel all the pipe works, I'm sure you don't want to do that. Okay, so these are the answer, aren't they, Shadow? Just say meow. So these are the answer, and you can get these in typical all sorts of sizes. Other than that, it's a fairly simple job. So don't get done by the measuring radiators thing. It is a simple thing, and I always go smaller if I'm changing a rad that they haven't got the size for when you're buying. Just go a bit smaller, and then we can make up the distance with these things, just to fill that gap. And you can just shut the rad valves off either end, then drain the actual radiator water that's inside, and save yourself a hell of a lot of grief. Okay, well that's about it. Thanks very much for watching, and Darrington 33, you know where to come, all my videos. Thanks for watching.